Hello and welcome to the Orthodox View, where we discuss latest religious news from an Orthodox Christian perspective. I am its host, Philip Champion. In the German city of Offenbach, with the approval of the city authorities, an exhibition entitled Pornographic Series had been opened. The quote-unquote creative idea by a local artist, Christina Metzner, was expressed in a rather peculiar way. She simply attached pictures with obscene content onto the Orthodox icons. The exposition provoked indignation and protests from local Orthodox believers. The authorities, however, did not support them. According to the Offenbach's mayor, Felix Schwenke, one can understand that Orthodox Christians feel wounded, but freedom of art must be preserved, and that includes criticism of church institutions and religions. The artist said that she merely wanted to draw attention to the, I quote, forced submission of women in the institutions of various religions and to sexual violence and abuse under the auspices of churches. Why she specifically chose Orthodox icons, she did not say. In response to criticism, Christina Metzner got off with a statement on social networks that she did not want to offend anyone and called her work a metaphor for all religions. At the same time, a discussion arose in the German society. Why was it only to the Christian sacred objects that the artist applied her freedom of creativity? For example, Lukas Steinwante, a columnist for the liberal conservative newspaper Junge Freiheit, stressed that when an artist does not think of anything creative and wants popularity, the easiest way is to attack the Christian church. He accused Metzner of showing cowardice by focusing on the Christian church and not daring to publish cartoons of the Islamic prophet Muhammad. The Orthodox Church will not unite with the Catholic Church. This topic is not discussed either at the official or the unofficial level. This was stated by the chairman of the Moscow Patriarchate's Department for External Church Relations, Metropolitan Hilarion of Volokоламск. Nobody speaks of the unification of the two churches because the divisions have existed for a very long time. Many contradictions have accumulated. In effect, the two churches have lived independent lives for almost 10 centuries. Metropolitan Hilarion noted that now we can talk about putting an end to the situation of rivalry, competition, and enmity, which have been there for many centuries between Catholics and Orthodox Christians. Speaking about the dialogue between Moscow Patriarchate and the Roman Catholic Church, Metropolitan Hilarion specifically mentioned the problem of uniatism. When Patriarch Kirill met with Pope Francis in Havana, they made a joint declaration that stated that unia is not a method for achieving unity. It is a very important statement coming from the mouth of the Pope of Rome. Actually, the Catholics have tried to use various ways to convert by right and wrong Orthodox Christians to Catholicism. And among these ways was the unia, when the Orthodox were allowed to preserve their liturgical rite while being obliged to join the Catholic Church, fully adopting the Catholic doctrine, including the doctrine on the universal jurisdiction of the Pope of Rome. And from our point of view, this is a deception, since many Orthodox believers, when becoming uniates, had not even suspected that they were changing their faith. The persecution of Christians in Africa has reached unprecedented proportions. This was stated by Reverend Father Dmitry Safonov, the Executive Secretary of the Interreligious Council in Russia and Secretary for Interreligious Affairs of the Department for External Church Relations of the Russian Orthodox Church. He called on the international community to pay attention to this problem. According to the priest, every minute, radicals throughout the world kill one Christian, and in Africa, over 10 Christians, for their faith. The most disadvantaged countries in this respect are Nigeria, Congo, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Ethiopia. The scale of persecution of Christians in those countries is beyond accessible. The priest said that the Russian Orthodox Church and religious leaders of various confessions in Russia are proposing to suspend international aid to those African countries whose authorities contribute to the genocide of the Christian population. The Turkish authorities have decided to replenish the budget in a rather unusual way. There are two Christian churches for sale in the cities of Bursa and Mardin at a price of 441 and 507,000 euros respectively. One of those churches is originally Eastern Orthodox, whereas the second one is Oriental Syriac. The media reported that the decision to sell church buildings was caused by the acute economic crisis in Turkey. The sale of churches became known after the parliamentary inquiry of one of the Turkish deputies, who turned to the Minister of Culture of Turkey. Doesn't it bother you, Mr. Minister? If a mosque were put up for sale anywhere in the world, the whole of Turkey would probably revolt. The whole concept of selling Orthodox churches to individuals in Turkey is not new. For example, in 2015, the Church of Our Lady of the Tsaritsa, built at the end of the 13th century, was put up for sale. The price for it was $1 million. An even more ancient church of Mar Yohanna in southeastern Turkey was built in the 4th century. Its owner put the church up for sale in 2015 for 4.5 million euros. Unfortunately, Christian communities in Turkey are small and poor and do not have the means to buy out such churches. The primate of the canonical Ukrainian Orthodox Church, His Beatitude Metropolitan Anufriy of Kiev and all Ukraine, is the most influential spiritual leader in Ukraine, according to the International Expert Club and the Elite Expert Rating Agency. The list of the 100 most influential figures in Ukraine was drawn up by an expert group of professionals in the fields of political science, sociology, economics, law, and media after several months of in-depth study. At number 40, overall, Metropolitan Anufriy is the highest-ranked religious leader. Epifany Dumenko, the head of the Schismatic Orthodox Church of Ukraine, comes in at number 48 in the new ranking. And Archbishop Sviatoslav Shevchuk, the head of the Ukrainian Catholic Church, comes in at number 72. A year ago, a 19-year-old influencer Vitaly Miroshnikov lit a cigarette from a candle in a church, filmed it, and posted the video on his blog. He was then detained and sentenced to compulsory community service. However, Miroshnikov did not do the required number of hours and left, which is why now he is facing an increase in punishment. The head of the Moscow Patriarchate's Department for External Church Relations, Metropolitan Hilarion of Volokholamsk, believes that it is important to show mercy to the young man. After this young man has committed his act and received many negative comments on social networks, he apologized for it and shared one important thought that is the key to this whole ridiculous and sad situation. He said, "I have not received any religious education, and this whole area of knowledge is a mystery to me." As long as we have a generation of young people who do not receive any information about religious traditions at school, except for one course in the 4th grade for 1 hour a week, we're going to continue to have such problems and even more serious ones. While giving a speech to a group of children, a Sicilian Roman Catholic bishop, Antonio Stagliano, told them that Santa Claus was not real and his costume was invented by the Coca-Cola company to promote its products and use the image in advertising. After such words, parents accused the bishop of interfering with family traditions and celebrations and crushing the spirits of children whose early years were disrupted by the pandemic. The Diocese of Sicily even had to apologize for the bishop's words. They noted that the church does not wish to prevent children from celebrating Christmas and having dreams, and that the bishop just wanted to remind the children of the story of St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker, who was persecuted by the Romans for his faith in Christ and who became the prototype of Santa Claus. In its official statement, the diocese said the following, I quote, "Santa Claus is an effective image to convey the importance of giving, generosity, sharing. But when the image loses its meaning and you see Santa Claus associated with consumerism, the desire to own, buy, and buy again, then you have to revalue it by giving it a new meaning." Well, this is all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time on The Orthodox View.